important as the very first one to the last one. Jill came to me during the year and said, what do you think is perhaps lacking a little bit? I said, more awareness of what all the good people in this room are doing. And an ageing population, and I'm well and truly into that bracket, really do want to help. And the Chief Commissioner, Mr. Ken Lay, said the police alone cannot do it. We've got a magnificent state, but the world has changed. And that's when Neighbourhood Watch is so important these days. And Jill said, what about some ambassadors? And she gave me the task of nominating 5 people. And 2 of them are not here tonight, but I'll mention them ever so briefly because they are quite remarkable people. Yesterday, or the day before, we were sitting in the Deputy Lord Mayor's office, Councillor Susan Riley, the Deputy Lord Mayor of this great state, of the great city of Melbourne in Victoria, and she has so many offers to do so many things. People like to be associated with the city of Melbourne. And she accepted to be an ambassador and already has put things in place. And the other day, Jill and I were sitting with a major corporate in this state who is, who knows, perhaps going to come along as a proud supporter of Neighbourhood Watch. Dennis Walter, and I declare an interest, having been at 3AW for 42 years. Dennis Walter is our afternoon personality and a great person. He's connected right across the state because of his Win television background. Everybody, whether it be Wangaratta, Shepparton, Bendigo, Warrnambool, Morwell, wherever it is, they know him through the nightly news. He used to read 5 bulletins a night for Win television via the 9 network. And Dennis is proud to be an ambassador for a few organisations and a patron of a few, but he said, tell me what you need done. And he said, tell me a little bit more about the organisation. And then I realised we still need that awareness of what we're doing. And he came on board. And then, ladies and gentlemen, I'm really proud there are 3 people here tonight. And the first person, I'll start with ladies first, Lisa Edwards. Lisa Edwards is a lady who's had an amazing career. She's worked with Sir Tom Jones. She's worked with Olivia Newton-John touring the world. Of course, many people say, Lisa, you're the lady with John Farnham. Yes, she is. Very proud to have been there at the start of John's career. And they go back on the road again next year, and a remarkable talent. Lisa has her own band and she's always busy with corporate events and touring around Australia. But I think one of the greatest compliments to Lisa was, is there anybody over 40 in the room? Just checking, good. Was when one lady came to Australia, Barbara Streisand. And Barbara Streisand is the most pedantic, meticulous entertainer in the world. And she was on her way to Australia. She said, I'm going to have 2 singers who are Australian. And one of them she chose, out of all the people who applied, was Lisa Edwards. And if any of you were at that concert, I think it was known as Telstra Dome at the time, Lisa sang with Barbara Streisand. But more importantly, she's a mum. She has a beautiful daughter, 11, going on 12, Madison. And she was affected by what happened in her local area. There was, let's just call it an undesirable, who was keeping an eye on young children. And I look at our Deputy Commissioner and the body language he knows. It's probably happening right now while we're here. And Madison is Lisa's life. Everything about that beautiful daughter is Lisa's life. Lisa was working, dropped Madison off at some friends, came in here tonight, and just by her putting it on her CV that she's an ambassador for Neighbourhood Watch is getting the message out. When she's with other entertainers, they go, what's exciting in life? And I heard her recently at a big award ceremony. She said, you know what I'm really enjoying? Talking about Neighbourhood Watch. And it's once again the awareness, because you're all doing a great job. Lisa just happens to have a bit of profile. She's an amazing lady. It's wonderful to have her as an ambassador. Ladies and gentlemen, Lisa Edwards. And I'd ask the Deputy Commissioner and the Minister, would you come up in the photo? Certainly doesn't need a photo with me. So. The greatest contribution by an individual to tourism in the state, in front of 1,200 people. And Craig's one who can get things done. He, many, many years ago, said we should have a tramcar restaurant. And everyone said, you'll never get a tram going around Melbourne serving food. It's impossible. There's not only one, there are 3 of them. And they're booked out morning tea, afternoon tea, early dinner, lunch, late dinner, the whole lot. Then Craig, 5 years before Eureka Tower was finished, he said, David, I think you should have a studio in Eureka Tower for 3AW. I said, that'd be great. He said, we are going to own the 88th and 89th floor, but he said, also I'm going to have a box come out the side and you'll be able to stand in it and look 88 floors down. And the people in the meeting were quite disrespectful. They said, your friend's an idiot. Well, now if you go to Eureka Tower, there's a thing called the Edge, and it's a box that comes out the side. Craig's on lots of committees. He's just been awarded a life membership for the Moonee Valley Racing Club, but he makes things happen. And the great thing is he travels the world, but also he happens to live in regional and rural Victoria. And this is where it comes back to Neighbourhood Watch. Just recently, Craig and his family were seriously violated. And he's pretty tough, and he's pretty strong, but once again, his children are the most important thing in his life. The police response, sir, was excellent. Absolutely brilliant, Craig said very quickly. And in this regional rural town, Neighbourhood Watch is going okay, but people just need to know that if it was there, perhaps this violation of his family wouldn't have happened. The good thing is they got the crooks, because the fourth incident these crooks were involved in was ransacking a sergeant of police's house. And that sergeant got there very, very quickly, with a few other Victoria police officers. But it's still the trauma that he's been through, and the trauma that those of you that have been burgled and other things happen in life, you know what it's like. So Craig's determination is in a regional rural sense, but also with major corporates here in this state to make sure they know about it. So ladies and gentlemen, great Ambassador Craig Opie. Extremely talented in the academic stakes, and he came to 3AW and made his mark there. And recently we were lucky enough to invite him back to do the Drive program when Tom Elliott is on holidays. But Brett McLeod had the big offer, and many people, when they're in radio, they end up in television, and Channel 9 realised not only was he scholastically brilliant, but he's a great communicator with people. And unfortunately what the journalists of today have to face is completely different to what they were facing even a decade ago. Brett McLeod now is a senior journalist with Channel 9, and one day when some of the people retire down the track could well be the face of the 9 network. Many people say that, and I'm certainly one of them. But Brett's relationship with Neighbourhood Watch, when he was asked to be an ambassador, he's travelled the world and he's seen places in the world that you would not want your children or grandchildren, family or friends to be in. They are places that don't have the support of the community, places that there's crime, there's unruly societies. And Brett's passion is to make sure that we, as both Mr Ashton and the Minister have highlighted tonight, stay a safe community and certainly one of the most livable cities in the world. And Brett said, yes, happy to do it, but only if I can do things. And that's what Brett McLeod is about. It's not a name on a piece of paper, it's actually doing something like Murcott's do for Neighbourhood Watch. Ladies and gentlemen, another great ambassador, Brett McLeod from the 9 Network. Thanks for having me. We're doing our research on them and police checks to make sure you've got the right people. But in closing, Jill, something you don't know, and thank you for the accolades for 3AW. We're very pleased to be the #1 station in Melbourne. And this time last year, I announced that 3AW was airing 30 commercials per year. We put that in the business plan again, and that 30 commercials per month, and that will continue for 2015. But also we're bringing on the other station, Magic 1278, which is our music station, and it's a really good radio station. And I'm pleased to say tonight, and this is for the volunteers. This is for you, because you make Neighbourhood Watch. And I know I don't want it to sound patronising, but without you, there simply isn't an organisation. So there'll be 30 commercials each month on Magic 1278 and 30 commercials each month on 3AW, and our ambassadors, whether it be Lisa, Craig, Brett, Susan and Riley, or Dennis Walter will be doing them. But thank you to each and every one of you. I hope to see more of the signs up in my part of the world where I live, about an hour from here.
It's very sad because our neighbourhood watch sign of recent times as you go down the Mount Maston Road has been graffiti. And it stands out to me more than anybody, and I think, I'm not going to accept this. So I know that we're going to put up some new signs and we'll make sure things like that don't happen. Once again, to the Minister and to Deputy Commissioner, thank you for being here. And to Jill, who is an absolute driving force. Neighbourhood Watch is here to stay, and it's going to get bigger and better because of you. Thank you.